Jack Hughes takes the stick to the face in the third period, gets, I think it was one or two of his teeth chipped, and then he scores the game winning goal in overtime. I mean, talk about just being tough. Welcome back to Two Generations, One Mic. Good episode in store today. USA hockey, both men's and women won gold medals. A couple big upsets this weekend in college basketball. There's some movement going on in the NFL, and yeah, the rest of the Winter Olympics. Good to be with you, Pat.
Hey, bud. Great to be with you. Glad you survived the nor'easter. You got blue sky behind you after what, like 20 inches of snow in the area? That's just crazy.
It was a big
Crazy. So,
blizzard. Yeah.
yeah, nuts. But yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Let's kick it off with your jersey.
All right, here we go. One of the best dunkers in history in the NBA. We got Dominique Wilkins today. The human highlight machine. That's what he was called. Let me tell you a little bit about him, Ben. And I'm telling you what, watching this guy play was so much fun. For a while, he had, a point guard on his team named Spud Webb, who was just tiny and competed in the dunk contest with him. A lot of fun. But anyway, he was born in 1960. He's American, but he was born in Paris, interestingly enough, and went to high school in North Carolina, and then attended the University of Georgia from 79 to 82, and was then in the 1982 NBA draft. He was taken third overall in the first round, and actually he was chosen by the Utah Jazz. And as the Jazz were putting the team together for the upcoming season, they were going to have him play power forward, and he wanted to play small forward. And there was enough argument about it that they ended up trading him. They also needed cash. Utah was pretty cash strapped at the time, and so they traded him for Utah Jazz. Got $1 million, and they got a guy named John Drew and Freeman Williams. I've never heard of these guys, but that's who they got in return plus the million. So he went on to have a great career with the Atlanta Hawks. He played with the Hawks from 82 to 94. And then he went through a series of teams over the next 5 years. Clippers, Celtics, played for a Greek team, came back, played for the Spurs. Then he went and played in Italy and ended his career with the Magic in 1999. Let me give you some stats over his career real quick, Ben. He was a 9-time NBA All-Star. He was the first All-NBA team in 86. He was a 4-time All-NBA second team. He was the leading scorer for the NBA in 1986. He was on the rookie first team, All-NBA rookie first team. 2-time dunk champ in 85 and 90. And back in college, he was a 2-time first team All-SEC and was the SEC tournament MVP one time. So, wonderful career. But I'm telling you, that dunk contest in 86 in the old Chicago Stadium versus Jordan, there were other people that competed. I can't even tell you who. I mean, it was just awesome. Just the two of them going back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
It was epic. It was epic.
That's awesome. All right, starting it off, Winter Olympics. Gotta go with hockey first. So, the USA beat Canada in both men's and women's hockey, and both games went to overtime. This is the first gold for USA men's hockey since 1980. That was just an awesome game. Physical. Jack Hughes takes the stick to the face in the third period, gets, I think it was one or two of his teeth chipped, and then he scores the game-winning goal in overtime. I mean, talk about just being tough.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, hockey players are a different breed to begin
Yep.
with. I mean, the way that it's so funny when you watch soccer players and they'll actually do a slow-mo, soccer players are rolling around on the pitch, like holding their leg or ankle or whatever. And when you do a slow-mo, you see that they actually aren't even touched, or sometimes kind of hop over someone's leg and then try to make it look like that they were slide tackled or whatever.
Yeah.
And you got these hockey players that just take stuff to the face, pucks, sticks, fists, and just keep on going. Yeah, unbelievable. 1 minute 40 seconds into overtime, cross pass, boom, goal, total celebration. I'll be honest, I did not realize that it's been since 1980, the Miracle on Ice, when the U.S. beat Russia actually in the semis, what a lot of people don't realize. When the USA beat Russia in 1980 in Lake Placid, it was actually in the semifinal game, and they had to beat Finland in the gold medal game back in 1980. But I didn't realize that it's been that long since we won hockey gold. So that was neat.
Yeah, that's crazy. So one question I had for you is last week we talked after NBA All-Star Weekend that a lot of those players are a lot more buddy-buddy now. There's less, hatred's not the right word, but I don't know, competitiveness, whatever. In the USA-Canada game, both this year for the Olympics, last year during the Four Nations, they're physical games. Even though you can't fight in the Olympics, there were a lot of tussles where the refs had to get in there.
Yeah.
Do you think, what do you think the nature is like between the U.S. players and the Canadian players in the NHL?
Like in the NHL, away from the Canada versus U.S.?
I mean, both, because most of the players on both teams are NHL guys.
I think it would be my opinion, Ben, that one, I think it goes super deep. Hockey goes super deep into the fabric of Canada.
Yep.
And so I think that professional athletes do a wonderful job of compartmentalizing, and I think this is across all sports. When they're competing, they're able to just focus on what specific thing they're doing at that time. And so when you're playing for Team Canada or Team USA or, Sweden, Czech, whatever, you're able to compartmentalize that fact. And when you have the fans, when you understand the way that the fans in your country grasp hold of that, you're going to do whatever it takes to do battle with whomever you're going against. And I think that they're able to take that apart. And so then when they're back on their team, their NHL team, they understand that they're teammates, and you play for your teammates, and that's what you do.
Yeah, interesting. Because
what do you think?
No, I agree. That makes sense because when they're in the NHL, they're all intermixed and stuff. So I guess it's more about if you're on the U.S., it's not really about who's wearing the jersey, just the fact that you're going against the Canada jersey. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like Jerry Seinfeld said, you're just cheering for laundry is what you're doing. But I will say, it was interesting. I saw a clip, scrolling along, and it was actually following the women's hockey game, not U.S. versus Canada. It was Canada versus someone, whether it was the semis or the quarters or whatever. And a reporter was getting ready to do an interview with one of the players from Team Canada, and the captain from whatever other country they had just finished playing came through the camera view and said to the Canadian player that she apologized for a hit from back in the women's professional league that they both play in 3 months ago. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And the Canadian player, said, "Oh, no problem," and but they moved on. But it was kind of neat that the one player did that, and that the other one, accepted the apology, and on they went. I don't know why. It just because it was really kind of cool from a sportsmanship standpoint. Because the one that did the hitting back 3 months ago felt like it was potentially a cheap shot, or you know, felt felt the need to go up and apologize for whatever reason. So that
Yeah,
was kind of cool.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Medal standings: USA finishes second in total medals. Norway finishes first. I was surprised that USA was able to climb their way all go all the way up to second because through that first week they were just hanging around that like fifth place, sixth place mark.
Right.
In figure skating, Alyssa, is it Liu? Do you
Yeah.
know how to pronounce it?
No. Lou.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Wins gold. That ends a 24-year drought for USA for female figure skating.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool to see. She had her moment. I saw just during the Olympics, she gained 4 million followers on Instagram, going from 200,000 up to 4.2 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something else.
Mm-hmm.
And going back before we leave hockey real quick, the
Yep.
Team USA versus Canada women's game was equally exciting, and the overtime goal, the move that she made going down the boards and then cutting across the middle and pulling the puck back across and then backhand goal
Mm-hmm.
past the Canadian goalie was just epic. And it's really kind of funny watching some of these, camera views of watch parties one, the watch parties in the U.S. for both the men and the women when they win are just so cool when places just erupt, whether it's in a bar
Yep.
or just a room that has, someone's house that has, 4 or 5 people in it watching. Super cool, and equally funny to watch. When it happens in Canada, and all of a sudden it just goes, just
Yeah.
dead silent. Like there was a huge watch party in Toronto at the Maple Leaf Stadium,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, and the goal gets scored, and it's just like the air
Yeah.
just gets let out of the place, and everyone just starts getting up and leaving. It's just like it's so deflating. It's like talking about going to a live sporting event and you don't have a dog in the fight, so you just want the home team to win. So it's exciting, and they don't, and it's just kind of like, okay, great, well, let's go.
Yeah.
And I saw one guy take a chainsaw to his flat screen TV on the wall.
Real. Oh my gosh.
I know
That's aggressive.
that is aggressive.
Yeah.
So that was super cool. But yeah, the medal count stuff. They made a second week charge. The
Mm-hmm.
U.S. did. Yeah,
No, they had a strong finish for sure. So that was cool to see, especially since when we always do all right in Winter Olympics, but summers usually our forte. Yeah, so that
right.
was great to see.
Yeah. Do you have a? And I may have asked you this question a few weeks ago. Do you have a preference between summer and winter?
Summer for sure.
Do you?
I just like those sports a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it, and
What's
that's great.
yours?
I'm 50-50, I think. I mean, I think that, and again, we talked. I like the non-tradition or non-mainstream sports in both summer and winter.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fun watching archery and rowing and canoeing and kayaking and all that stuff and sailing in the Summer Olympics. In the Winter Olympics, I like watching skeleton, luge. I'll tell you what, though, man, it was hard to find. It still was kind of harder than I expected to find some of those sports
Mm-hmm.
because curling was everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Channel USA or USA Channel or whatever, they had curling on all the time. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, yes, it's fun. And yes, the U.S. has really become good,
Mm-hmm.
versus a number of years ago where you really didn't hear a lot about the U.S. Both the men and the women and the mixed doubles has really kind of significantly increased in talent level and skill
Yeah.
and compete for medals at all 3 levels now. But man, I wanted to see some other stuff sometimes. Speed skating, I love speed skating. That's so cool.
Yeah. I think you could definitely make the argument that the more, I would say, obscure non-mainstream sports are more fun for Winter Olympics. But for me, the mainstream, like front of the line sports I think are way better in Summer Olympics personally. Beach volleyball, basketball, track and field. I just have
Swimming.
more swimming. I just have more fun watching those compared to the figure skating, the downhill skiing, that stuff. So
Yeah.
that kind of pushes it over the edge for me.
And I get that. And I will say, the, gymnastics and swimming, which are the two, and track and field, but gymnastics and swimming, which dominate a lot of the prime time airtime during Summer Olympics,
Yeah.
compared to figure skating and I don't know what's another one of the mainstream Winter Olympics that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The swimming stuff, like going back to when like Michael Phelps in Beijing in the early 2000s or whatever
Hmm.
whatever year it was, or 2012. It was Beijing, and he won all those gold medals, and he was going for the record number of gold medals in one Olympics.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the um, team relay. Um, uh, was it all four disciplines? I forget what. And France was the big competitor, and they looked bigger, and they talked a bunch of trash beforehand. And
Hmm.
Jason Lezak made the last push after he
Yeah.
switched, and Roddy, whatever his name is, the analyst with whoever calls swimming all the time for NBC, just all of a sudden starts going crazy. And I mean, it was a fraction of a second touch at the wall, and actually gave US the gold. It was so epic.
Yeah, that was cool. And I saw too, just while we're on Olympics, Kevin Durant was on a stream the other day and he said that his goal is to play in the 2028 Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
And I mean, he'd be like 40 years old, and this would be, if you were to get, if US gets gold again, that would be number 5 for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be super cool if he was able to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Let's kick it over to college basketball here because we had a big weekend. So, starting it off with Arizona first, of course. Upsets number 2 Houston at Houston. Close game the whole time. Arizona was really shorthanded that game, missing a lot of guys. Houston cut into their lead partway through the second half, but then Arizona was able to pull away. So that was great to see. And then right after that, we had the Duke Michigan game. That was a neutral site game up in DC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Duke able to pull off the upset. That Duke defense is good because Michigan's offense looked like an absolute mess that game.
It did. They just didn't look as sharp as they have. And Boozer just played like a beast. I mean, he was everywhere, tracking down rebounds. I mean, it just seemed like he was wherever the ball was.
Yeah. And having watched a decent amount of Michigan basketball this year, so Michigan had by far the best transfer class going into the season, and led by Elliot Cadeau, Yaxel Lendenberg, and Ade Mara. And Ade Mara's been awesome this year, 7'3" center, just an absolute force in the paint. This game, I was really disappointed in him. Wasn't able to rebound. He was getting moved around down low. Duke center is Patrick Ngumba, or however you say it, is 6'11", so he's not small, but I mean, he was just working Ade Mara over. When you have a 4-inch height advantage, you just can't be letting that happen against one of the best teams in the country. You got to come out and be tougher than that. So, yeah, that was what I took away from the game. But, I mean, this top 4 is just chaos
Oh,
the way it's moving around.
totally. It is. It's nuts. And I think it's really cool that there was a non-conference, game like that in the middle of what typically you just have interconference games at this point.
Yep.
Usually by mid-January, all of the playing outside your conference games, preseason games, whatever you want to call them, by
Hmm.
early to mid-January, you're out of that and you're just playing a conference schedule. And for them to put this game right smack in the middle, as we're approaching March, I think is so cool, and I wish they did a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
Because that's awesome, and that was just a heck of a game. Um, it was I forget, did Duke win by 5 or something like that?
Right around.
Um,
Yeah.
but it didn't. I mean, it didn't come down to like the last possession.
Mm-mm.
But it was still just a great game to watch, just battling it out. Because at the time, Michigan was number 1 and Duke was 3 or 4.
3.
Yeah, 3, and that bumped them up. Now they're number 1.
Yep. And
Yeah,
Arizona's 2. Yeah, everyone was, because just it worked out that Duke versus Michigan and Arizona versus Houston, they were calling it the Final Four this weekend.
yeah,
But I mean,
yeah.
now, and then, so also on Saturday, Cincinnati upsets number 8 Kansas, which Darren Peterson played 32 minutes that game, but he was 7 for 17 from the field, 1 for 7 from deep. This Kansas team, I just don't know what to make of them, because now if we go into last night, Kansas beat Houston after being down most of the first half, ends up winning by 15 or whatever the number was. And once again, Darren Peterson did not play great. I think he had 14 points on not great efficiency, but the rest of the team looked great compared to the Cincinnati game. They're just such a weird team. I just
Yeah.
don't know
It's like
what.
Jekyll and Hyde. You just don't know. You don't know which one's going to show up, and which has to be very frustrating to try to coach. Bill Self. Bill Self obviously has had to balance this Peterson thing. Both from an actual in-game coaching as well as post-game, coaching and talking about and things like that. That's got to be exhausting. But from a coaching standpoint in game, you just don't know what you're going to get from all of these guys. Are they going to defer to Peterson all the time, and then obviously haven't won every time that they've done that, and they've got a great record when he doesn't play, or if they just he's having an off game and they finally just stop going to him and just do their thing. That's coach of the year stuff right there, trying to navigate all that stuff.
Yeah, and because watching this team, I think they have the talent of of a Final Four team, but like you said, it's just Jekyll and Hyde. It's this weird balance where you don't know if he's going to play. If he is going to play, is he going to be the number 1 pick potential he's shown, or is he going to have a bad game, and do the other guys need to step up, which they don't really know that going into the game. So
Right.
it is just really interesting. And then the last big upset from Saturday. So Donovan Dent for UCLA hits the game winner versus number 10 Illinois in overtime. That was a really cool play. It was one of the hardest layups I've ever seen, and he got it to go right at the buzzer.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny because that puts UCLA at 18-9 now. They're not ranked, but I would bet they make the tournament. Mick Cronin, their coach, just after every game rips this team like they are 5-20 on the year. It just blows my mind.
Yeah. And then did the self ejection of their center. I forget what his name is, and they were playing.
Yeah.
That was against Michigan State,
Mm-hmm.
and the game was over in terms of score.
Yeah.
And Michigan State guy was going for a layup, and the center came in, and I think Cronin came out a day or two later after watching he thought the guy just went in and hammered. He did get a flagrant one
Yeah.
on the play, but he thought that his center went in even harder and, intentionally trying to, wail on the guy. So he sent him to the locker room
Mm-hmm.
right during the game. And then fast forward 24 hours or whatever, and he had a chance to see the play. And you can see that he actually does get part of the ball.
It's a play on the ball. Yeah.
It's a play on the ball, and the guy, I mean, yeah, his arm ended up hitting him in the head too, and you have the flagrant one. I mean, that's going to happen every time. And he, said that he apologized to him and so on. So, but boy, he is fiery for a coach. I'll tell you, it takes a lot to. I don't know if it's an act. It'd be interesting to know what he's really like behind the scenes, like during practices with his team or
Yeah.
whatnot. Because damn, he really gets after it.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. And I mean, speaking of fights here, kicking it over to the NBA, did you see the Scottie Pippen Jr. Myron Gardner fight?
Yeah, goodness, holy moly!
That
I mean,
over into the
it's not like,
stands?
a lot of times in the NBA nowadays, you have guys that like put their chests together and, you know, act like they're going to fight, but I mean, no one's arms actually come up and then
Mm.
teammates get in there and scruffle and pull them apart. Those two were going after each other. I mean, they were going to go.
Yeah, and I don't know what's been in the water in the NBA the past month, but the amount of fights, and I'm talking real fights, has been insane. Like, what was it? 2 weeks ago, I think we forgot to cover it, but there was the Charlotte Hornets Detroit Pistons fight. Did you see that
Oh,
one?
I did not know, but I heard about it.
Four guys got suspended multiple games for that. And I mean, punches were being thrown. Isaiah Stewart, everyone knows he's one of the biggest fighters in the league. He came off the bench, which is a big no-no, and he was swinging. He got suspended 7 games. That was the most out of any of the four. It's just been physical, which is kind of surprising for February because you think of that as a bit of a down month for the NBA, kind of the
Right.
lull of the season. But no, guys are getting active out there.
Well, I have to say, Ben, I'm gonna say I, I'm all for it. If you're gonna go, let's go. I
Yeah.
mean, don't do all of this squaring up and pushing and shoving and acting like you're super tough, but not do anything. I mean, if you're gonna go, let's go. It's kind of like I always chuckle when something happens in baseball. 99% of the time, when you have benches clear in baseball and everybody comes out and they're very rarely does anything happen. I mean, I remember a few years ago there was something with the Reds and I forget who else it was, but I mean they
Yeah.
got after it. The whole crowd, the whole scrum ended up against the net behind first or behind home plate, right up against the fans, and I mean
Hmm.
it was major. It was good, but most of the time, and you have these guys run in from the bullpen in the outfield, and they all come running like this, like just kind of skipping along. It's like, let's go. If you guys are going to come all that way into the infield from the bullpen, if I were in there, I'm like, I'm let's go. I'm not going to make this jog for nothing. A lot
Yeah.
of times when the two bullpens come in, they actually converge and are talking as they're walking in.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the NBA, because that's what I know versus MLB,
Right.
it's just hard because, like you said, you get in someone's face, and when you get in someone's face and you're barking at them, maybe a little pushing, you're gonna get a technical, maybe toss. That's what it is. The second you stick your arm up, though, that's a 4 game suspension. Which I mean, at this point in the year, we're 56 games into the year. You're trying to make a playoff push. Those 4 games matter. So it's a hard line to balance, and I guess it depends too at what caliber player you are for your team.
Well, that's true. I mean, I just think back to the '80s and the Lakers and the Lakers and the Celtics and geez, Kurt Rambis going in for a layup and just gets clotheslined by shoot, I forget who it was from the Celtics. Just all those
Hmm.
great old '80s fights, but there wasn't usually suspensions that went around it too. So I mean, that's a good point. I mean, Pistons, Celtics. Oh gosh, those were so good. Those fights.
Um, yeah, and then NFL here. So a couple of big storylines from this week. Um, Bears are possibly moving to Indiana, about 25 minutes outside of Chicago. But just thinking of the Bears as an Indiana team, if this actually does go through, that would be just so funny to think about.
Oh God. And the option that the Bears have been working on trying to get a new stadium for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And the latest spot that they've zeroed in on within Illinois is Arlington Heights, I believe, which is 25 minutes north of Chicago. So
Yeah.
really immaterial from a travel standpoint. And if I'm the Bears, I'm going where it's good business. I know people get upset with, the public versus private, relationship when it comes to building a stadium. And Illinois apparently has decided to. I don't know a lot from the political standpoint, but it appears that they have decided to take the stance of being very unhelpful related to, helping the Bears find a new spot, whether it be just coming up with property or if there's
Mm-hmm.
other tax advantages that they get and whatnot. And Illinois has decided, at least so far, to not do a lot of that. Whereas Indiana, I mean, the legislature got right behind it, got it through, and it's obviously got years and years to go before you figure out, before a spade goes in the ground to move dirt.
Yeah.
But who knows what'll ultimately happen? It was interesting. I did read a thing where a number of years ago, before the Patriots got moved into Gillette Stadium, Robert Kraft was obviously going through this same thing that the Bears are going through. And actually, Connecticut, the state of Connecticut, came forward and had a proposal together and everything like that. And Kraft had even gotten to the point of signing some semblance of a commitment to go to Connecticut. And
Mm-hmm.
then Massachusetts did the flip flop and they got Foxborough, and away they went, where they are now in Foxborough and Gillette Stadium. So
Yeah.
there's history like this of other places coming in, trying to swoop in and grab the team, and then the other place kind of coming around, and the team and the government, get together on a deal. So,
Yeah.
the interesting part is that I believe there's zero. I mean, does the city of Chicago or the county or state or whatever solely own Soldier Field? Isn't that right?
I'm not sure about Soldier Field. Like I know, for example, the Dallas Cowboys stadium, it's right around the 50-50 mark of like state owned versus privately owned. So
Okay.
it's just, I think, a stadium by stadium basis, yeah. But I'm not sure exactly about Soldier Field.
Yeah. Interesting.
A couple player related stories. So, quarterback specifically. So, actually, this morning, right before we started filming, the Falcons cut Kirk Cousins just 2 years after signing that massive $4 million deal.
4 year
Yeah.
or
What is it?
you said 4 million.
Oh, sorry. I meant
Yeah.
4 year. Yes, massive
Yeah.
4 year deal. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up because after Penix went down and they brought him in, they did not play bad at all. I mean, they won a couple games at the end there after a tough start to the year, finished 8-9, I believe,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. Yeah, so obviously he's definitely on the older side, but I think he proved he still has some gas left in the tank.
Right. For sure. For sure. He was
Now,
good. When he played for the Vikes, I mean, he was really good when he played for the Vikings. I mean, those were some good years.
now we've talked, with you being a massive Vikings fan, we've talked about the Vikings bringing in a veteran quarterback to kind of compete with JJ in training camp. Would Kurt come back?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't see you going there, and I'll be honest, I had never even thought of that. That would be really interesting. It would be interesting to know how that would be received. Within, I don't know how much goodwill McCarthy's built up, JJ's built up,
Mm-hmm.
in the Vikings community. I mean, there's a good chance that everyone pushes for Cousins and get him in there, and don't even there isn't a whole lot of mentoring behind. But I mean, Cousins becomes the starter, and away he goes. I don't know. That would be wow. That would be crazy.
Because, I mean, since he's left, it's still all the same skill guys there: Hawkinson, Addison, Jefferson, Naylor, Aaron Jones. Now, I'm not sure. Aaron Jones might be a free agent. But, anyways, a lot of the same guys. So, I mean, and you're probably, with what Kirk was requesting and got offered by the Falcons 2 years ago, you're probably going to be able to get him on a massive discount compared to what he was asking for back then.
For sure.
So it just is interesting to think about with how this
Oh,
year went for the Vikings.
totally. And I wonder. I bet JJ is already in the front office right now. I mean, because that just went down. What'd you say a couple hours ago?
Yep.
I mean, he's probably already in the front. I mean, those two had a great connection.
Yeah.
And he's probably already in the front office politicking for that.
Yeah. No, it for sure. It would be cool to see. Because
Yeah, it would.
even though it was never a deep playoff run, I mean, overall, his tenure in Minnesota was very successful, and
Very
there was a lot
successful.
of winning. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And it's that they've gone for the old quarterback in the past. I mean, and got a great run out of him when they had Favre.
Mm-hmm.
And in the NFC Championship game, the Saints, who all should be kicked out of the league for running a bounty program, they could have gone to the Super Bowl with him. And so they've been known to grab the aging veteran and make a deep run.
Yeah, and well, wasn't that also the case with, was it Culpepper, or was
Oh,
he old
no.
when he got there? Or
Before
Randall
Culpepper,
Cunningham?
Randall Cunningham.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Yep. You're exactly right.
Um,
And
and
Warren
then
Moon.
yes, wow, they have had a lot. And then also Anthony Richardson wants to be traded. You could see this coming from a mile away with how well Daniel Jones played this year. Riley Leonard had a couple of good games when he was tossed in there. And Anthony Richardson, so far as we all know, has been a little bit of a bust. I'm curious to see what team would want to send over a mid-round pick and take a flyer on him. See if they can, because he's proved he's talented. It's just now nailing that consistency, because he's never passed above a 60% completion percentage. So,
Right. Right.
yeah, the talent's there. Do the Jets try and make a move on him? I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know. Totally. I
Um,
mean, he doesn't have a whole lot of track record to show you. I mean, he's been
No,
injured a couple times. Heck, took himself out of a game one time.
he only
So,
started for 1 year of college. Yeah.
right. Right. That's a great point.
No, there just is so little film on him. Looking to refresh your home inside or out? Honor Painting Company has you covered. From residential interiors and exteriors to cabinet painting that completely transforms your space, Honor Painting delivers quality craftsmanship you can see and trust. No job is too big, no job is too small, and every project gets the same attention to detail. Proudly serving the entire Sioux Empire, including Madison, South Dakota, and Okoboji, Iowa. Get your free estimate today. Call Scott at 605-799-2573 or visit honorpainting.com.
Right.
All right, and then we will move over to golf here. So Bridgman started the last day with a 6-shot lead, only wins by 1 stroke. What were your takeaways from the weekend?
Well, I'm impressed with Bridgman. To come back from, he played really well at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am last week. Was coming down 18, and we talked briefly about it, where he yanked his second shot down onto the beach, tried to play off the beach up onto the 18 green at Pebble, and it kicked down into the ocean, and he ended up salvaging a bogey, but kind of dropped himself down a couple spots on that leaderboard. To come back and play as well as he did in LA at the Genesis was very impressive. Started the day, as you said, with a 6-shot lead. At one point, it grew to 7, and then he finished with a 1-shot lead and had to par 18.
Yeah.
And had a great drive, had a great second shot. Did not hit a very strong first putt. And afterwards was telling Amanda when she was interviewing him that he couldn't even feel his hands as he was trying to make that first putt, and left it between 3 and 4 feet short. I think it was just over 3 feet, which, when you're in that situation, looks about 10 feet, and confidently rolled it in. Rory rolled one in off the fringe, which was a great putt to tie for second. Bridgman was at 18 under. And then the T2, Kurt Kitayama and Rory at T2 at 17 under. So, it was good to watch. So, that was a good tournament. It was fun.
And then we talked about this last week when we were talking about Scotty Scheffler. It is just amazing to piggyback off what we were saying, that you can never count him out of a tournament because, yes, he finished T12 this week, 11 under, so 7 shots back, was never really in it. But just the fact that his first 2 days before the cut, he goes 74-68. And then the next 2 rounds, he goes 66-65. That's incredible.
Yeah. Now, some interesting stats about Scotty.
Yeah.
Over this weekend. So he teed off in the afternoon wave on Thursday, and had his round stopped due to darkness, and he was 5 over par, and ended up making a number of birdies. I mean, when they bring those guys back, it is super duper early on Friday morning so that they can get the second round going, and made a number of birdies to then carry into his round. Finished over par, but go into his next round that same day. Yep. And as you said, finished on the cut line, and then creep all the way up to T12. Now, here's another interesting stat for you. He had an 18 tournament streak going of finishing in the top 10, and that is that is the longest in modern history, and so that includes Tiger. Yep. And
wow.
Unfortunately lost that streak by going T12.
Gosh, that is brutal. I mean,
yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because if he finished 11 under, if he could have gone 12 under, would have had it. That's crazy.
Yeah. Right. We're about a month and a half out from Masters. Of course, your money has to be on him.
Obviously,
he's playing
favorite,
well.
Yeah.
Rory is playing well. It'll be interesting to see how he does, and we'll do a deep dive episode on Masters Week of really, really breaking down the field and everything like that. But Bridgman's really put himself. I have not looked at the betting lines related to him, but I'm sure he's jumped big time with his play over the last 2 weeks.
For sure.
He's been a great up and comer. I know that very few people actually know his name that don't follow golf, but he made the Tour Championship last year did not win a tournament during the year. So this was his first win, and to make the Tour Championship, so that's going all the way through the playoffs and then the Tour Championship in Atlanta. To make that without having a win during the season, you have to play some really, really consistent golf. And, it's a great story. He came up through all of the minor leagues, of Asian tours and Korn Ferry and all that, and has worked his way up and now got his first win. I mean, I'm sure he's moved up quite a bit on the board. I mean, he's obviously not going to have his name in there mixed in with all the big names, but, he'll be a contender for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then final segment here, this or that. So today's topic, we are going to go with favorite sporting event food.
That is so good, Ben.
I
That
know
is
you have a
awesome.
good one loaded up here for this.
Well, nothing beats, a good tray of, a hot dog and French fries,
Hmm.
or a thing of popcorn or whatever. And you go to some different venues that have specialty food and that sort of thing, which I don't normally get into. I like having a good chicken tender or a hot dog. But I will say Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska for the Cornhuskers football. They, and I unfortunately have to say used to,
Hmm.
because this past season they changed food vendors, but they used to have a cheeseburger that was out of this world. It was, you'd pick it up and it'd be all wrapped in foil, and it would, so the bun was super soft from the steam, and the burger and the cheese, it was so good, and it was funny. Your mom and I go to the game to meet Maggie down there this year, and we walk in and we're all excited for it, and we're looking around, and it's gone, and they had switched food vendors throughout the whole stadium, and it was such a letdown.
Well,
I
yeah,
was,
I was at that game too,
yeah,
and
that's
you
right,
guys
that's right.
all weekend were hyping this up like it's the best stadium burger I'm ever gonna have. So I get all excited because I love a good burger, and
Right?
we get there and it's gone, and I'm like, oh shoot, I
Oh
never
yeah.
got to try it.
Again, it's kind of like the Canadian videos when Team USA went. The
Yeah,
air just getting let out of the balloon.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, so that's mine. I don't have I guess I could say I technically don't have a current one. Then you go, any stadium hot dog, I guess. But
Hmm.
boy, that burger was the best.
Yeah. For mine, I don't have a super specific one like you have. Um, I it's tough to beat just a good chicken tender and fries. It's tough to screw up. The only time I ever complain is some places the fries get a little too soggy, I think.
Yep,
If they've
true.
been sitting out for a while. But I just haven't had many bad chicken tenders at a sporting event. So
Agree.
it's always, for the most part, it's always a safe order that I can count on. Yeah. So I'll keep it simple with that.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Good deal.
Good episode today. Like you said, we have Masters and more golf until then, but we're getting close to that. College basketball, I mean, we're getting down to the wire here. Only a couple regular season games left. And then NBA, we're cruising along here. Probably only 20 to 30 games left per team. So I
Yep.
think we're
NHL
starting
will
to
get
get
back
good.
on the ice with everyone coming back.
Yep, absolutely. Awesome. Well, good episode today.
All right, bud. Awesome. Great to see you. Love you. Glad that you're shoveled out.
Yep. Love you.